The room was silent. Too silent. No wind outside, no distant hum of cars, not even the creak of the old pipes in the walls. Just the steady, mechanical ticking of the clock. 2:57 a.m. Daniel Carter lay still, his body wrapped in the heavy weight of sleep. Then, a vibration. Soft, barely audible, but enough to stir him awake. His eyes flickered open. A dull glow pulsed from his bedside table, his phone screen. For a moment, he didn't move. The glow reflected in his tired eyes, casting faint shadows along the walls. His hand reached out, fingers brushing against the cold surface of the screen. He squinted at the notification. Daniel's breath caught in his throat. His body remained still, but inside, something shifted. Lucas Carter had been dead for 3 years. His fingers hovered over the screen. His mind scrambled for an explanation. A wrong number, a cruel joke. His heart pounded against his ribs. He swallowed, hesitated, then tapped the message open. The air in the room changed. He couldn't explain it. A shift, a heaviness. As if something unseen had just become aware of him. He sat up slowly. The dim light of his phone cast his reflection onto the window beside his bed. His own eyes stared back at him, wide, uncertain. He told himself there was a rational explanation. It had to be an old text, something delayed, maybe a network error. Then, another vibration. A second message slid onto the screen. Daniel's breath hitched. The room was too still. No distant hum from the refrigerator, no faint sound of the wind outside. Just the electronic glow of the screen and the thudding of his own pulse in his ears. He clenched the phone in his fist, forcing logic to take over. Someone was messing with him, that was all. Maybe someone cloned Lucas's number. Maybe a hacker got into an old cloud backup. Daniel's fingers felt stiff as he typed a reply. For a moment. The 3 dots appeared. Someone was typing. He stared at the screen, waiting. 5 seconds. 10. His muscles coiled with something unspoken, something his body knew before his mind could catch up. Then, the dots vanished. No reply. 5 minutes of silence. The phone was still. The room unchanged. Daniel exhaled, the air escaping his lips in a slow, uneasy breath. He was overthinking. It had to be a glitch. He'd get up in the morning, check the phone records, maybe even call the number. It was nothing. Then the phone vibrated again, violently this time. It shook against the nightstand, buzzing, pulsing, as if something on the other side was pressing against it. The air felt wrong, colder. The light from the screen flickered, just once, like a faulty bulb about to go out. Daniel's stomach twisted. He should turn it off, close his eyes, forget this ever happened. Instead, he stared at the screen and did the one thing he knew he shouldn't do. He answered. The text came through at 3:12 a.m. Daniel had spent the last 15 minutes staring at the ceiling, phone gripped tightly in his hand, refusing to close his eyes. Sleep was no longer an option. His body was exhausted, but his mind raced through every explanation, each one less believable than the last. Then his phone vibrated. He swallowed. His fingers trembled as he swiped the screen. Daniel's mouth went dry. His pulse drummed against his temples. No one knew about that. It was a secret from when they were kids. Something small, something meaningless, except to Lucas. He had taken the blame, even when their mother yelled, even when he was punished. Daniel sat up, his skin prickling. Then, another message. His breathing hitched. He didn't move. The bed felt suddenly smaller, like the walls of the room were pressing inward, the air thick with something unseen. He told himself he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't lean over. But his body betrayed him. With slow, deliberate movements, he swung his legs over the side, planting his feet on the cold wooden floor. The phone buzzed again. He froze. The message was different this time. Not text, a photo. With a deep breath, Daniel tapped the screen. The image loaded slowly. Pixels sharpening, forming shapes. A bedroom. His bedroom. The blankets twisted in familiar patterns. His pillow indented where his head had rested. But the angle was wrong. The photo was taken from below, from the floor, from under the bed. And there, just visible at the edge of the image, a hand. Daniel shot to his feet. The phone slipped from his grasp, hitting the floor with a hollow thud. His breath came in short, ragged gasps. His mind screamed at him to run, but his legs locked in place. With a trembling hand, he grabbed the edge of the mattress and, slowly, lowered himself to his knees. His heart pounded against his ribs. His ears rang. His fingers gripped the wooden frame. Then, inch by inch, he leaned forward and peered into the darkness beneath the bed. Nothing. No hand. No shadow. Just an empty, dusty void. For a moment, relief tried to settle in. A mistake. A trick of the light. Then, his phone rang. The sound cut through the silence like a blade. Daniel's breath hitched. He scrambled for the device, hands slick with sweat. The screen glowed bright in the darkened room. The ringing continued, shrill and unnatural. He hesitated. Then, almost against his will, his thumb slid across the screen. The call connected. Silence. Then, static. A low, distorted hum filled the receiver, crawling into Daniel's ear like something alive. The noise warped, shifted, turning into breathing. Ragged, shallow. Then, faint, just at the edge of hearing. A whisper. "Find me." The line went dead. The phone screen flickered, the brightness pulsing like a heartbeat before the device powered off completely. Daniel sat in the darkness, the room pressing in around him. He was no longer alone. The next message arrived at dawn. Daniel hadn't slept. He hadn't even moved from his spot, his back pressed against the bedroom wall, knees pulled to his chest. The phone, now powered on again, sat on the floor beside him. It vibrated once. He hesitated before reaching for it. The screen lit up. Daniel swallowed hard, his throat dry. His fingers hovered over the keyboard before he typed. The reply came instantly. A shiver crawled up his spine. He turned his head toward the mirror across the room. His own reflection stared back. Tired eyes, pale skin. Then, movement. Not him, something else. His reflection lingered for just a second too long after he looked away. A shadow, a figure, watching. He lunged for the mirror, heart hammering, but his reflection remained normal. Normal, except for the smile. His lips hadn't moved, but the reflection, it was grinning. Daniel stumbled backward, his phone slipping from his fingers. He wanted out. Out of the room, out of the apartment. But the moment he reached the door, another vibration. He didn't want to look, didn't want to see, but he did. Then, beneath it, a message, a GPS pin, a location, somewhere nearby. Daniel's breath came in short gasps. His fingers trembled as he clicked the link. The map opened. The red pin pulsed against the screen. It was an address, an abandoned house. The last place Lucas was seen before he died. Daniel's stomach twisted. His phone buzzed again. One final message. The GPS led Daniel to the edge of town. The streetlights had long given way to overgrown trees, their twisted branches clawing at the sky. His car's headlights cut through the thick fog, revealing the cracked pavement beneath. No other cars, no signs of life. Then he saw it. At the end of the road stood a house, or what was left of it. Charred beams jutted out like broken ribs. The entire structure was a skeleton of its former self, blackened by fire, sagging under its own weight. Smoke damage streaked the walls, and the roof had collapsed inward, leaving gaping holes where the sky bled through. Daniel tightened his grip on the steering wheel. His brother had been here the night he disappeared. 3 years ago. The police report said there had been a fire, an accident, a freak event that destroyed everything. But there had never been a body, no remains, nothing. And yet, his phone vibrated. Daniel hesitated. Then slowly he looked down. His breath caught. His pulse pounded at the base of his throat. The front door hung open, waiting. This was a mistake, but his feet carried him forward. The air was wrong inside, thick, suffocating, like walking through water. Each breath sat heavy in his lungs. The floor creaked beneath him, but the sound was swallowed by the vast emptiness of the ruined house. Then he saw them, the photos, scattered across the walls, untouched by time. Daniel felt his stomach drop. His childhood bedroom, their old backyard, family vacations. His hand shook as he reached out, running his fingers over the glossy surface of one. They looked new, no burns, no dust. But something was wrong. His mother, his father, himself. They were all there. But Lucas was missing. His place in every photograph was an empty void, a smudge, a blank space where a person should have been. His phone vibrated again. Daniel's breath hitched. Every nerve in his body screamed, "Don't turn around." His fingers curled around his phone. His heartbeat thundered in his ears. Slowly, so slowly, he turned. And there he was. Lucas, standing at the end of the hallway. But it wasn't him. His skin was too pale, his limbs too long, his head tilted at an unnatural angle. His clothes were the same ones he wore the night he vanished, untouched by time, as if he had never left. Daniel opened his mouth to speak. No words came out. Then, Lucas smiled. A jagged, inhuman grin that stretched too far. And in that moment, Daniel knew his brother had never died. Something had taken him, replaced him, and he had spent the last 3 years waiting for Daniel to find him. Lucas moved, not walked, moved. 1 second he was at the end of the hallway, the next, closer. Daniel stumbled backward, his chest clenched, his breath ragged. Run! His mind screamed it, but his legs refused. His phone vibrated violently. Daniel forced himself to look down. The screen flickered, glitching. The letters scrambled across the text box, twisting. His grip tightened, his vision blurred. Another vibration, another message. The lights in the house flickered. The air crackled like static. A deep, guttural hum vibrated in the walls. Then, his phone screen filled with black. Nothing but an empty, hollow void. Daniel looked up. Lucas was right there, too close. His face inches from Daniel's. His eyes, black, empty, endless. The phone slipped from his fingers. The screen shattered against the floor. The last thing Daniel saw, Lucas opening his mouth, too wide, too wrong. Then, darkness.
You shouldn't have come here.
Was it really Lucas, or something else? What would you do if you got a message from a dead loved one? This isn't the first time the dead have reached out, and it won't be the last. Subscribe for more terrifying stories.